Employees occasionally bypass system controls, specifically to protect the company. Take the case of a massive corporation managing a multi-million-dollar procurement budget. To eliminate human bias and increase purchasing transparency, they transitioned entirely to an automated system. This flowchart outlines the e-auction pipeline. RFPs go out, vendors submit blind bids, and the system generates a quotation comparative statement. The algorithm identifies the lowest bid, the L1, and awards the contract, physically forcing strict automation and removing human decision-making. On paper, this control environment looks foolproof. The pre-audit team reviewed the system-generated output, gave the green light, and moved on to the next task. But an effective auditor looks beyond the polished final reports to interrogate the underlying software architecture. During a routine IT training session, the audit team noticed an anomaly. The system contained a delete bid functionality, built so developers could clear dummy data during testing. When the audit team pulled the active access logs, they uncovered a security flaw. Several lead purchasers who had beta tested the software still had power user deletion rights attached to their live production IDs. When we chart the data extraction, the execution pattern is glaring. These purchasers were actively and secretly deleting legitimate lowest bids. Once the L1 bid was wiped out, the system automatically highlighted the more expensive L2 vendor as the new winner. Seeing high-value contracts systematically rerouted to more expensive vendors triggers a red flag for financial corruption, kickbacks, and collusion. A traditional audit reflex to this data is immediate panic, involving an escalation to the board and a demand for swift terminations. A value-driven auditor pauses that panic to interrogate why the data looks this way. The audit team presented the extraction logs to the head of purchase. The department head didn't flinch. They openly authorized every single deletion. The investigation revealed a systemic business flaw that no automated algorithm was equipped to detect. The purchasers defended their actions as a critical exercise in strategic vendor risk management. The L1 vendor was aggressively undercutting competitors. They priced their bids so low that they were guaranteed to monopolize 100% of the corporate auctions. This illustrates the risk of single vendor dependency. If this sole supplier faced a strike, the entire production line would halt. Intentionally awarding volume to L2 vendors distributed the load, kept multiple suppliers alive, and maintained market competition. This workaround was a strategically vetted maneuver executed to protect the company's operational survival. If the vendor diversification strategy was legitimate and vetted by senior management, why was it executed in secret? The true root cause was the company's standard operating procedure. It acted as a bureaucratic straitjacket by unconditionally mandating that all awards go to the lowest bidder. The e-auction software enforced this constraint. It was hard-coded to physically block any award to an L2 unless the L1 was completely removed from the system. Obtaining an official exception to this rule required a formal CXO-level approval. That process was paralyzingly slow and nearly impossible to secure for routine daily operations. An overly rigid governance framework left loyal employees with no operational choice. They weaponized a system backdoor because the established rules prevented them from doing their jobs effectively. Reporting this as a simple fraud would have led to a disastrous alternate reality: firings, a closed backdoor, and an immediate return to a dangerous single-vendor monopoly. The actual value-driven solution began by rewriting the rigid corporate SOP to allow for strategic flexibility. As shown in this updated process flow, a formal delegation of authority was implemented. A dedicated purchase committee was established and empowered to override L1 awards for risk management purposes, bypassing the old executive bottleneck. With a legitimate path for exceptions created, IT officially revoked the lingering beta testing access rights and permanently closed the deletion backdoor. Finding the true root cause secured the software architecture and increased the business's operational agility and resilience. Inflexible rules often drive good people to take hidden side routes. A great auditor's job is to figure out why they left the established path. If you want to transition from finding faults to actively architecting resilient business processes, hit the subscribe button. Until next time, stay vigilant.